Hi everybody, how are you? Thank you for being here. Mistakes. Well, what are we going to talk about? Your mistakes, their mistakes, my mistakes. Well, do you know what? I can't talk about your mistakes or their mistakes, but I can talk about my mistakes. And the reason I wanted to have a chat about it is because one of the creators that I enjoy, or YouTube channels, I should say, that I really enjoy listening to is Mel Robbins. Now, she's about 18, 19 years younger than I am. So I'm going to probably pull a little bit of experience here and say, you know, I think we all need to make our mistakes. And I know every now and then, not just Mel, but other creators who are very well versed in human nature and the things that we may do traveling through our life, is that we will often, and I have often said it, it's a learning experience, especially with my children. I don't want you to make the mistakes that I made in my life. Don't make that mistake. All right, well, let's talk about that. But before we do, I'm going to start something new on my channel. At the very end, or almost at the end, I'm going to start sharing a comment. Like, I'm going to pick a comment either from, sometimes they come a little bit later after the video's been up for a month or two, and sometimes they're really current. But I just love it because these are comments from women that are part of the friendships that we have here, and I just go, oh my gosh, this is so cool, because in our conversations that we can learn stuff from each other. So I love that. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, thank you for being here. My name is Liedy. I'm 75 on May the 14th, and I'm excited to be here. I'm getting more and more excited about being here on social media and my YouTube platform here. Did I say that right? Well, it doesn't matter. You got it, right? Okay, and so my regular subscribers, thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm also really grateful for what you contribute every week to my channel, because without you and your comments and your thoughts and the process we kind of go through, I wouldn't have a channel. So I do appreciate that. And so today I want to talk about mistakes, because one of Mel's podcasts, of course I have it written down. She said, I'm not going to let you make that mistake. Okay. And I went, oh, I don't know about that. There's different degrees of mistakes, I mean, you think somebody's going to hurt themselves or is going to be absolutely devastating, you may say, I'm not going to let you make that mistake. But in general, looking back on my 74 years, I've become the person I am making my mistakes. Some of them are extremely painful, some of them really, really, really painful, and not some of them physically painful, and a lot of them mentally painful. And so, we need to learn from our mistakes. We need to be able to say, with a certain amount of, and it's hard to do it, I get it, like when it just happens, it's really hard to say I made that mistake. But I think with so many conversations going on about it now, what we can take away from making mistakes is saying, geez, I took a little nugget away from a video that maybe Mel Robbins put up, a conversation that she was having, or one of her guests, or something I may have said, or something you've put in the comments that somebody has read, where you take away a little nugget and say, oh my gosh, that was a huge mistake. But I did learn something from that. And I may just change my direction a little bit, and you may not make as big of a mistake as you were initially going to make. But then I come back and I go, do you know what? I found my purpose in life by making mistakes. I found out who I was by making my mistakes. I had to dig deep within myself from my mistakes. Like I had to come to grips or come to terms with certain things about the mistakes that I made. And nobody can stop you from making your mistakes. Most big businesses people that start a company that make huge mistakes and come back, and they're more successful than they've ever been because they made this probably huge mistake that they said, I'm never going to do that again. I have now got a real vision of where I'm going to go with that. And so the thing is, we may not be talking about business. We might be talking about just our everyday stuff. And it's, like I open up YouTube and I see how not to, don't make this mistake. Don't make yourself look frumpy. Don't do this. Don't wear that. Don't do this. Put this on your face. Don't put that on your face. And I go, oh my gosh, sometimes we do have to just do what we're going to do, make the mistake and go, oh, I learned. Okay, I learned the lesson. I got it. Is that hard? Is it? It could be really painful. I'm going to tell you, it could be really painful. But I am ever so grateful for the mistakes that I've made. I think the hardest thing is for myself, it's personal, right? When we make our mistakes, because making my mistakes is also, everything comes into play. Who your partner is, your children, there's so many things outside of us that can put us in a place that we may be looking at the same issue, but the mistake is going to be very different, personal and individual to each of us. Because I often say the players, the scenario are different. And sometimes we just have to walk through life and make the mistake. That's how they're life experiences. That's what gives us wisdom. I never thought there was such a thing as wisdom, but there is. Wisdom, it comes from life experiences. Wisdom comes from making mistakes. Wisdom comes from forgiving yourself and knowing you made the mistake and it's okay to carry on. You learn something that others may never, ever learn, but you may have a nugget to give away. Not the lesson. That's personally to you. That's your lesson. But you might have a nugget. You might have a little, you might just want to move over a tad just to make it a little bit easier, or so you don't, it doesn't hurt as much. Now, of course, if somebody says, I'm going to go jump off the bridge, I'm going to do everything to say, don't make that mistake, because it really hurts when you hit the water. Please don't, you would do anything and everything to keep somebody from hurting themselves, of course. But, life in general, we need to make mistakes. We need to make mistakes to have the experience, to have the wisdom, to find some purpose. So proceed with caution when you are listening to anybody on social media that you say, what's the message here? Like, can I take something away from this that's going to give me some power within myself? Like, don't ever, I say it all the time, don't give your power up. Don't give your power up to anybody on YouTube or on social media. Don't. Hold on to it. Believe in yourself. Because you know what? Actually, deep down inside, I think we all know self. The problem is we feel that maybe self isn't correct or it isn't enough because of all the voices around us. And so then we will tend to veer out and make the mistake of following somebody or doing what somebody else tells you to do. I'm going to say, you know what? Assess the situation. See if you want to take a risk. See if you want to take a chance. So you make a mistake. Well, the biggest thing for me was, after I made the mistake, is to find the calm in myself to somewhere in that time frame after making the mistake and realizing what the lesson was. It can be quite a lifespan in between. Sometimes we keep making the same mistake over and over again. It's like, when are we going to get it? But you know what? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Really. They're just going to be part of your growth. It's going to be part of what you are. I mean, if you've made no mistakes, you're not taking any risks. You're not living life. You've cocooned yourself, and that is it. Don't do that. There's so much to live for. There's still so much to do. Okay, so I would love it if you put something in the comments down below and said, if you want to share a little bit about a mistake that you have made, or are you one of these people that have really protected herself from make a mistake because you don't want to go through the lesson or finding the purpose in something like that? It's like, life is to be lived. Take a chance on you, not on others. Take a chance on you. It starts with you. Okay. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I wanted to read, I'm going to start reading a comment at the end of every one of my videos. Something that somebody's commented that I really liked, something that I think we can learn something from. I think it's just, or I just go, oh, I'm so glad she shared it, because that's how I feel. Okay, this is a video I did, I think about 2 months ago. Anyway, the title of it is, at 74, I don't do fashion, I do me, my style. I'll put that video down below in the description if you want to watch it. And I will find the comment so I can pin it so you can read it. I may have already pinned it. And this is from Sylvia. And Sylvia wrote, and this is what I love when we have these conversations, because it's not just what I'm saying, it's what you put in the comments too. Because everybody, a lot of us read each other's comments. So I think I love that she shared this. Thank you so much, Sylvia. All right, here it is. And I hope you don't mind me reading it. All right, it says, Lady, you were my godsend the night of November 4th. At birthday lunch that day, daughter took a picture of me wearing printed shirt. Later that night, I sighed and said, do something. Along comes this video emphasizing that you do you, your style. It was a life ring. Lady, since I cut my own gray silver locks, gave myself a shortcut after 7 years of long hair. Next day, put on my black on black, I felt invigorated. Again, thanks to you. Subscribed that first night, but I have returned tonight to thank you. The last month, I have felt better and pay it forward. Complimenting fellow older ladies whose styles I admire. Love you. Okay, this is in her words. And I'm not going to critique it in any way, because you know what? I think anytime somebody says, because it's something I may have shared, I do me, I do my style. And I love that she could take a nugget. It's just taking a nugget and she packed it in on what everybody else thought it should be. And so make your own mistakes, learn from them, do you at all times. Because you know what? Like Sylvia says, you're going to learn the lesson and you're going to feel really good about it. And you're going to take your power back. It's, social media, I love it. I can't believe that I'm on social media. But take everything with a grain of salt. I'm just sharing my thoughts and my opinions. But I feel a little bit more empowered, I think, because I am going to be 75. And I've made a lot of mistakes. A lot. I mean, a big part of my life was really, really painful. But you know what? I learned so much, and it's given me purpose to be here and talk about it. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. I really hope that you'll share a moment of a mistake that somebody thought you shouldn't make, that you made, you took a chance, and it wasn't a mistake for you at all. Or yes, maybe it was a big mistake, but it was the best lesson you've ever had in your life, and it pointed you in the right direction. So you know what? Let's evaluate the word, and it's personal. Do you is personal. Make your own mistakes, all right? Sometimes we just got to do what we got to do. Okay, guys, thanks for being here. And remember, there is no future in our past. Bring all the wonderful memories and all the lessons with you. Dream and imagine.